You're starting out, you have an idea, what do you do? The least thing you should be doing is spending your time buying domains and designing and developing. It's useless to try to solve a problem if you don't know who you're solving the problem for. How I think some things should be done is not how other people think they should be done. So if you're getting a chance of getting people to take you up on your offer, to buy the thing that you're selling, to accept that you are the right person to help solve the problem that they have, you fucking got to what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in on Stories and Status. I just came from the gym, that's why I'm in this. I don't even know how you call it. And what that means is that it's 9:14, and I had a lot of things that I had planned for you guys for the episode, but I only have 15 minutes to record this podcast, which is why I didn't even shower before, but I didn't want to miss it. And I was just thinking, what's the most useful thing that I can share with you guys within the next 15 minutes? When I got started on my entrepreneurship journey, how I used to approach turning something from an idea to a business, was that I would have an idea, usually at 2 a.m. in the morning, 1 a.m. in the morning, really, really late in the morning. And it would bother me enough to wake up and, lose sleep overthinking and looping over what the problem is and what the solution could be and how I can go about solving it. And then the next morning, that night I would open my computer and go on Notion and write down who the target audience will be and everything, come up with the whole business strategy. And then the next morning, I would go into Figma, try to design the website for the business. That night, I would have bought the domain. After designing, I would go into Webflow, which is the web development tool that I use. A lot of people, it's a no-code web design tool that I find really easy to use, and I've learned I'm pretty advanced, so I use that. I would use that to take the design and develop it into a website, shape it, and as you probably have experienced, nothing would happen. I would have a website. I would have paid a lot of money. It compounds, right? From the hosting to the domain to the Figma that I'm using to design, to Webflow on top of hosting. You also pay for the account. It's a lot of money, and spend all that for nothing. And the reason why, what I missed was that it's useless to try to solve a problem if you don't know who you're solving the problem for. That approach is me assuming. I'm assuming a lot of things. I'm assuming that the problem is as important as I think it is in my head, right? I'm assuming that the solution, the way I envision it, is how it's going to solve it. I'm assuming that the people I thought and wrote down in Notion are gonna care about that problem, and it's gonna be big enough for them to want to pay it. And I'm assuming a lot of things. I'm assuming that by building a website that people are going to come on it. And that is all dumb. It's really dumb, because now what I try to do, let me just tell you what I do now instead of going through the rundown of what used to happen. What I do now, what I did a couple of days ago, is to test every single step of the way. So if I have an idea, literally maybe 4 days ago, I was the agency, I was experimenting with creating offers. I hope you understand what an offer is, because I don't want to go into explaining what an offer is. It's basically a package that you are selling, right? And for me, the agency is solving a very specific problem, which is when small businesses in Phoenix, I'm specifically targeting small businesses in Phoenix. Specifically for that offer, I was targeting PT clinic, physical clinics, physical therapy clinics. And the offer was that for most of the physical therapy clinics, what they're optimizing for is basically the thing that they're offering is a free consultation, right? So they get you to come in the clinic by offering a free consultation. You make an appointment, and once you make an appointment and you go to the free consultation and you like it, they help you figure out what problem you have and how they can help, basically give you a taste of what your life could be if you came and took all the exercises that they take you through and their programming or whatever. And then they can upscale you to something else that they have, to another offer, right? And that you can then pay for. Okay, how do you, if you get 100 people through that funnel, right? 100 people to take the consultation and they actually come in the clinic, you might maybe convert like 10 to 15%. I mean, 10 to 15 of those people, let's say, right? And that would be, I think, pretty good. And but the point what I'm trying to make is that if you increase the number, like the top of the funnel, meaning like that 100 people, if you make them 1,000 people, then it's not going to be 10 to 15, it's going to be 100 to 150. That's the idea, right? So I'm trying to solve, like, how do you increase this, the number of people, not the number of people who get on the website, but the number of the people who get on the website, how many take the consultation and how many actually come to the clinic, okay? And I think that is a pain point. I'm assuming that is a pain point. But instead of assuming, I made ads that specifically targeted PT clinics in Phoenix and ran them on Facebook, right? But while I was running that, testing that, I was like, what about if also, this is coming from my circumstances and whatever, I still have a full-time job. I'm like, if I sell that and it works, right? Which it was working based on like how many people saw the ad and how many people were clicking and everything. There's a few things that I still needed to optimize. But while that experiment was running, I was like, would it be easier for me to run the agency as a business if it was solving another problem? And that problem was doing doing weddings for for the African diaspora in Phoenix. So basically, I just got a message from someone special. Yay. What I was saying is that I was trying to experiment with creating another offer, right? Experimenting with another offer, which is that I offer weddings for African couples in Phoenix who are getting married during 2026. That's really, really specific. And I was like, would that work? One, I like that idea. And the reason why it came to me is because the weddings will be over the weekend. I have a full-time job where I work from Monday to Friday. That would be a lot easier to manage on the side because I don't want to jump ship. I don't want to quit my job before the business is making more money than what I'm making now. That's basically my goal. Okay, would that be easier for me to run? Yes, because it will be over the weekend. It wouldn't conflict with my job. Still like need to perform to the highest of my ability in my full-time job. Okay, that's good. But is there couples, instead of like running and buying a domain and, you know, spending 2 days building a website, building a website, making all those assumptions, I was like, let me just prove the concept. Let me do the same. Let me run an experiment. The same way I'm running an experiment with PT clinics and the offer. So I'm running an experiment on the offer level, right? Weddings versus VSLs, video sales letters for PT clinics. And I'm also running an experiment on the audience level, right? Who has the problem? And I'll tell you how I'm doing that, right? First, for the weddings, I was like, okay, let me just create in my Facebook account. I'll try to do like a screen recording of my Facebook ads account to show you exactly how I structure the things. And basically, I was like, okay, before I make an assumption about anything, let me just prove my concept, right? One, is there anyone in Phoenix, in the African diaspora, who's getting married, couples who are getting married this year and are looking for someone to make their film, right? Their wedding film. I was like, okay, probably, but I don't know. So that is my audience. Let's try to prove that, right? Okay. Number two, is my offer weddings? How can I structure that? I was like, okay, I'm gonna make you an offer I took an angle of you are probably going to miss a lot of your wedding, right? Because you're busy and you're not getting to see all the angles and people feeling and everything. I'm gonna capture all that in the most realistic and in a way that really respect and honor your culture from someone who understands it. Because I'm probably gonna have a better understanding of African culture because I'm from Africa. I've lived my whole life in Africa. And I understand how much, family and culture and traditions mean to a lot of the African cultures, right? And countries, people. And so I took that angle. Okay. Just created a bunch of ads. I think I created 3 versions with 3 distinct concepts. Concepts. It was just, there was like, no, I did not do too much. I wasn't like, designing and it took me about an hour to like come up with the concepts and design the ads, which was basically just a plain white background and a few words of my offer. So I'm calling out for African couples living in Phoenix, getting married in 2026, something like that. And I just like say the offer. I then create a landing page. I did not go into like designing or whatever. I just duplicated a page that I have on my website already. I did not buy a domain. I did not do any of the shit that I used to do in the past. I just wanted to take the concept that I have in my head and test it, turn it into a reality, test it as quickly as possible. And I ran the ad. Okay. And for 60, was it 60? I think it was $59. After 2 days, I clearly, like Facebook, saw that one of the 3 ads was leading to like 80% of the people going on to the landing page. I made a terrible mistake though in the background. I'll tell you about it next time. Because I don't want to go down into that. I just want to stick to this concept of $59 helped me realize, one, that though there are people who are interested in this offer, right? So the audience, I proved the concept that I had in my mind, which is there are people who are looking to get married and they're looking for someone to do their films. And that is in the African diaspora. Okay? Yeah, I think it was like 32 people clicked on the ad and 7 people actually went to the website from that ad. For you to understand how important that is, the rest of the ads, one of the ads, like the second ad, did 2 people. 2 people clicked on the ad, and 1 person went on the landing page. The other did, I think, around 4. I'll show you exactly on the screen, exactly the numbers. But then, after proving that that ad and the messaging of that ad and the offer, like how I structured the offer within that ad is working, then I created 3 versions of that same ad by using a video. Now I'm going to test in different communities. So my first assumption was that the target audience is going to be African couples getting married in 2026 living in Phoenix. And now that I have an ad that has the messaging that is working compared to the rest of the concepts that I came up with, like significantly working, I then brought it down to narrowed down from the broad African community in Phoenix to now I'm testing 2 things. It's the same messaging, but I'm testing format, so image versus video, because the first one was video, one was image. I'm taking the same exact copy, taking the same exact structure. I literally duplicated the ads within the Facebook account. Did not change anything, did not change the targeting, did not change anything. And I just changed the call out. Call out is like the most important thing in the ad because you're basically calling out the target audience. And instead of saying African community living in Phoenix getting married in 2026, I said Nigerians living in Phoenix, whatever, right? And then I go to the second ad, same thing, same structure, same whatever, but I only change Randis living in Phoenix. Then I go Ethiopians living in Phoenix. What I'm trying to do there is trying to see of those 3 ads, who in those communities is going to resonate better with the messaging. And then I can focus my whole effort into that community instead of assuming that my target audience is. I think if you've seen the previous episode, you will understand that my whole assumption is that focus. Like, you start small and then expand. You don't start targeting the whole world. You start by targeting the smallest group possible and then expand from there. That's like helps you with messaging. It makes marketing so much easier. It makes like coming up with solutions for the problems that these people have so much easier. But as far as like you're starting out, you have an idea, what do you do? The least thing you should be doing is spending your time buying domains and designing and developing. Please. You don't know. I didn't know. At least I should speak for myself. I know that I didn't know. And I know that I didn't know because nobody went to that fucking website. And it wasn't 1, it wasn't 2. I did that mistake so many times because I keep having ideas and you'd end up like losing so much time and so much money for no reason. And I get it, like maybe you have to learn that like by going through it. But it's so much easier now to test, right? You can even like test organically. You don't have to pay and run ads on Facebook. You can literally create content around the concepts that you have. It's so much better to create a an Instagram page and start creating content, 3 pieces of contents targeting 3 different groups that you think might resonate with your problem, and talk about the pain points that you think your problem is going to be solving and see which one resonates. That is so much better than fucking going and spending time creating a website and creating presentations and for groups of people that you haven't tested and confirmed that the problem you think they have is the problem that they actually have. And then what comes with that is to be as nimble as possible. That's number one, right? Like get from this is an idea to I'm testing in as a short period of time as possible. And how you do that is just by like going, like being scrappy. You're not trying to be perfect. Like I said, it's just like a plain background, white background with the headline, like black headline. That's it. Just test that. And then once you test the messaging, and then you can be fancy and add video and whatever, but at least you know that that angle is going to work. And you can like clearly know, like for me, it took 2 days and 32 people to clearly see that these 2 angles are not going to work. And this one is going to work. And then I can double down and create a video and, do like optimization and try to be perfect on that level. But once I have proof that the messaging is going to resonate and that the group that I'm targeting is interested in, that the problem that I assume they actually have, because if they didn't, they wouldn't click. It's really, really important. In all aspects of your of business, to assume that you have no fucking idea. And what comes with that is once you're proven wrong, you pivot. You're not like stubborn. You're not like saying that I believe this and this is how things should be. And because the world is changing so quickly, and if there's anything that I've learned is like other people are not like me, and I'm not like other people. We don't think about the same things. We're not into the same kind of music. We don't see the world the same. The problems I have are not the same problems that other people have. And how I think some things should be done is not how other people think they should be done. So if you're getting a chance of getting people to take you up on your offer, to buy the thing that you're selling, to accept your solution, to accept that you are the right person to help solve the problem that they have, you fucking got to like be willing to understand and listen. And that is the first thing that you should be doing, seeking to understand by experimenting, by trying to talk to the people you assume your problem, your solution is going to help. And proving that the assumption, yes, you should have assumptions. You're gonna have to have assumptions. Like I had all those assumptions, right? That's why you even like have something to write down. But I approach them as assumptions. It's not like a conclusion. And that comes with like pricing. Like, how do you know how much to charge? You just assume, make assumptions, and then experiment. And then based on the feedback that people are giving you, you pivot, or you lower your prices or you increase your prices based on how things are going. I'm way past my time, the time that I said. I need to go take a shower and get ready for tomorrow. But yeah, I hope that was useful. I know I came across as like, passionate and I'm preaching to you, but I really hope that I delivered in a way that it helps you, because I think it's probably the most important thing that you can understand when you're starting out on your business journey, is that you're not gonna know. And the only way to know is to experiment. Things are changing so quickly that you're not gonna be able to catch up. And because you're not gonna be able to catch up, it's just like the only way to know. It's the only way to, yeah, to know how to act, to know what to do next, to know how to. It's just to assume you don't know and then experiment. Run experiments. And once you learn, pivot. Please don't be stubborn. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.